At the gym, and I'm here pretty late. After work, I ended up falling asleep. I thought I was just going to take a nap, but it ended up becoming essentially a 4 hour quote unquote nap. So ended up waking up at around 10:15, and now I'm at the gym pretty late. So yeah. In any case, started off by warming up by walking backwards on the manual treadmill, and I want to do something that's more bodybuilding-esque to start. So I haven't done stuff like curls or tricep pushdowns and stuff in probably 4 months at least, maybe more. And I wanted to, do some of that kind of stuff. Some like dumbbell presses, some tricep pushdowns, some curls, stuff that's, I guess you could consider hypertrophy or bodybuilding style. I'll probably throw in some sled and stuff too to have like an intense cardio sort of portion, but at least for right now, I'm going to start off with something bodybuilding-ish. So starting off with alternate cable tricep pushdowns. For doing tricep pushdowns, I prefer using individual cables. This allows me to focus on one tricep at a time. And maybe it helps to see the muscles moving. So going to start with both of them extended and then alternate hands. Doing 15 on each side. With triceps, I've always been a fan of doing high reps and focusing on the mind muscle contraction and getting a pump. And then alternate bicep curls, but with kettlebells. I like doing it with kettlebells because with dumbbells, the weight's on either side of the handle and tends to hit the knee or the thigh when I'm at full extension of the arm. And so by having it like this, I'm able to have a uninterrupted motion, if that makes sense. Going for 10. Starting off with like 5 to 6 sets of this, probably maybe one more arm superset, which is probably what's up next. For the next set of movements, doing alternate cable bicep curls. So Going to hold it halfway up so that my biceps stay activated, and then let one arm go up and down, or down and up, then the other. Doing this for 10 to 12. Having that ISO hold where I'm keeping the I guess bicep contracted really exaggerates the pump. So if I just did regular alternate curls versus that ISO hold version, the pump that I feel is a lot better. In any case, for the second exercise, doing Bosu ball dumbbell skull crushers. So keeping my glutes contracted the whole time, and going to do alternate dumbbell skull crushers. Doing it for 10 to 15. Really trying to get a full elbow bend on each rep. Taking it through full range of motion. Stopping around close to failure, but not exactly at failure. But yeah, this is what I'm doing for now. Just a thought that I had while I was doing the skull crushers was, I think not all, like bodybuilding, sometimes I say in my videos that I think bodybuilding exercises promote stiffness, which I think is true for the most part. But if you focus on stuff like taking things through full range of motion, so like I was doing with the skull crushers over there, instead of like stopping at 90 degrees, I'm using like a lower weight and making sure that I get a full elbow bend on each rep. And then the same concept can be applied to pretty much every lift, where you take the weight through full range of motion. I think that reduces the probability that you get stiff as a result of bodybuilding exercises. But then along with that, if you supplement some full body movements where you're using your whole body as a unit, I think, bodybuilding exercises aren't that bad. But it's very easy to overlook stuff like stabilizers and some things that don't really get worked without using stuff like kettlebell, steel mace, and stuff like that. That's just a thought that I had. In any case, on to the next thing. Moving on to some chest and back. Whenever I train chest, I tend to give a preference to dumbbell presses, specifically single arm dumbbell presses, mostly because it allows me to focus on one hand at a time, and it also involves the core, because when you're holding just one dumbbell, the other side has to compensate. so it gets the whole body involved, as opposed to you can do more weight if you're using both hands at the same time, but I like having that core component when doing presses. So going to do single arm incline dumbbell presses for around 6 to 8 reps, then move to the cable that's behind me and superset it with single arm modified cable rows. So looks like this. Using a 70-pound dumbbell. So I'm doing a ladder. So I started off with 25 pounds, then I went to 30 or 35, I forget how much. Then I did 50, 60, and now 70. Alright, here goes. So if you guys notice, I'm taking it through full range of motion as opposed to like stopping at 90. Like the same thing that I said with the tricep extensions, or taking exercises through the full range of motion gives better development and also preserves range of motion. All right. Oh, that was pretty good. So now moving into single arm dumbbell row or single arm cable rows. So what I'm doing here is I'm slightly modifying, I guess, or there's just a few things I like to do to I guess exaggerate the stretch and contraction. So one of the things I like to do is kind of sit back. This increases the stretch on the lat. The other thing I like to do is kind of have the palm facing away from the body, and then my head is looking in the opposite direction of my palm. So here my palm's facing to the right and I'm looking to the left. Then as I row, I kind of switch. So the palm is now facing in and I'm looking out. So yeah, if you guys like cable rows, or most people like to train like have a back day, try throwing this in this modification of a cable row in, where you start kind of like sitting back to exaggerate the stretch of the lats that connect into the hips, then look away, and then palm facing away, and then swish. So yeah, doing these two movements as a superset. Yeah, probably going to do a deload set of this. Then by deload, I'll probably go back to 30 or 40 reps on the dumbbell press, but stick to the same weight on the rows. And yeah, let's see what happens after that. For the next set of movements, doing a 3-part thing. So using the pull down machine that has individual handles to do kneeling alternate pull downs. So I'm going to keep my arms at full extension and lean my head in between both arms. This position, at least for me, and should be for most people, gives the maximum stretch in the lats. And then as I pull down one, I lean back a little and then go back to head in between arms, lean back a little, head in between arms. Going to do this for 10 times on each side. After 10 of that, so just before, well, let me do the exercise first. So then with the two 25-pound kettlebells, I'm going to do alternate shoulder presses for 10. And then for the final movement, I think this is called narrow mag grip on the pull down machine, but doing like standing rows almost. So keeping my back tight and then bringing the cable to my mid chest. And kind of the same cue as before, where I'm sinking my head in between the arms to exaggerate the stretch in the lats. All these little cues add up over time and help give a more complete lat development and like maximizes the stretch and contraction. So yeah, doing this for now. On to the next thing. So the thing that I haven't hit yet is lower body. So for the next set of exercises, targeting quads and glutes and hamstrings. My favorite kind of squat in the gym is the landmine squat. I feel I'm able to get a really good stretch and contraction in the quads, and also get my toes involved. So this is my third set. Looks like this. So going to have the weight on one shoulder, get on my toes, and do 5 reps. Switching sides. After 5 each side of that, doing staggered stance, kettlebell deadlifts. So having my right foot in the middle of both kettlebells and the back foot kind of like as a kickstand position, and do 5. Switching sides. So yeah, probably going to do one more set of this, maybe 2. So I plan on going heavier on my next set, and then a deload, but only on the squat, keeping the weight on the deadlift the same. I'll just record the heavy set too. I might do some abs after this, but yeah, I'll probably do an ab exercise before heading to the sauna after I'm done with this. So then I think it'll be like a more complete workout. So far I've hit arms, then chest back, then shoulders with back, then now legs. So yeah, well, if I get abs in the equation too, then I would have pretty much hit everything. So I don't directly target the calves too often. Like when I do the sled and stuff, the calves are involved every time. Like I'm pushing at an angle. I also, when I'm in the sauna, I tend to do body weight calf raises. While I'm, instead of just sitting in the sauna, I tend to do body weight calf raises. Single leg, and so with single leg, it's like I put one leg like just kind of behind like this, and then do calf raises. Yeah, so I do hit calves, but very rarely like do I reserve time in the gym for it. And maybe I should, I don't know. It is what it is. In any case, let's move into this. Not bad. Alright, switching sides. Not bad. Then the deadlifts. Using the weight 62 pounds on each of the kettlebells, so it's 124 in total, 28 kilograms each. So yeah, I'm gonna do one more set of this. Probably do a deload to one plate, and then on to some abs probably. So finishing off with a rather long set of movements. So most commercial gyms have a yoga room which have these kinds of bars which they use for classes, and then weights that can be used on them. So by loading just one side of those bars, I'm able to essentially create a steel mace So, which looks like this. So I'm going to do a steel mace thing, and I take steel mace as like a core exercise because you're rotating a lot and using the abs a lot to move the weight it needs to move the weight the way it needs to be moved. So I'm using one 5.5 pound and three 2.75 pounds, which comes out to 7.5, around 13 pounds, I think. So not too heavy. And first going to do let me adjust this real quick. This is not tight enough. Yeah. So I added this last weight at the end and it's not liking. I'm going to go back to using the 2.75. For whatever reason, when I add the 5.5 at the end, it wants to get loose, which is not a good thing. Okay. Alright, this should be alright. So, I'm doing 10 360s on each side. Switching sides. After 10 two-handed, doing 10 single-handed. Switching sides. Then I'm going to do alternate arm 10 to 2s for 10 each side. Then, on the mat, I'm going to do a few things. So, I have 2 napkins on the floor, and I'm going to put my hands on the mat, and then get to like push-up position, and then do mountain climbers, but by dragging my feet on the floor. Going for 15. After 15, I'm going to do flutter kicks for 10. And then I'm going to do knee raises. I just realized my microphone wasn't connected the whole time. So the audio might suck. Oh well. I hope it made sense though. We'll have to see how the audio turns out. In any case, this is probably it for today's video. Quick ab check. Not bad. Alright, that's all for today's video. See you all tomorrow.